Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Saturday Night review series for the 13th of May, 2000 and I'm sorry, not 2019 and 95. Not exactly a tremendous thing to watch as the stuff at the time is lacking. These are abbreviated shows, and I think the next three will tie up our run through WCW Saturday Night as it exists now. Going to go into WCW Worldwide next and see what we can see as far as that is concerned. Eventually going into other shows as well, but over 1,300 things for you to check out. Great deal of stuff. We kind of see some highlights. These are abridged shows, partially because I assume of Braves baseball, not necessarily sure, but only 42-minute run times. Shivani and Heenan are your announcers for the day, and the Patriot and Marcus Bagwell are your first team out here. Basic moves, former tag team champions though they are, against two enhancement talents and Bagwell and Scorpio, or Bagwell and the Patriot, tagging off quite a bit. Bagwell with a splash along the way, not exactly getting all he wants on it, but and then we see a double team and a Patriot missile shoulder block by the Patriot, with a victory for the Stars and Stripes team. Obviously, by this point in 1995, Patriot leaves soon hereafter. I don't think he's around in time for the beginning of Nitro. Sting talking about his wars with Big Bubba, wanting to settle that up going into the Great American Bash. Also, wanting to regain the WCW U.S. Championship, which he eventually gets the opportunity to do at the same Great American Bash. Flair, Anderson, and Vader are here. Flair mentions wanting to eliminate Hogan once and for all, which seems to be the bane of his existence for several years here. The Nasty Boys up next in enhancement talent work. The former multi-time tag team champions facing off against Chick Donovan and Todd Zane. Not exactly a challenging match by any stretch of the imagination unless you like competitive wrestling, as we see double shoulder tackle and a pump handle power slam combination by Nas and Sags. They get, obviously, the victory that one would expect them to get. Hype for Slamboree 95, which is not a good show by any stretch of the imagination. Hogan and the Macho Man in tag action there. Butcher and Kevin Sullivan finally do officially square off as the fallout between the two has been made complete. Sergeant Craig Pittman in an enhancement talent match going after an enhancement talent who he beats into the ground pretty aggressively. Arm bars and the like, really basic stuff, back elbow, among other things by Pittman. And then he hits the cross arm breaker, gets a victory there. The Earl of Eaton, Bobby Eaton, is now officially a Blue Blood, and they are collectively, Regal and Eaton, known as the Blue Bloods. Enhancement talent match here to get that team under the auspices of things. The vignettes, as mentioned in previous weeks, were comical, so if you've never seen them, worth going out of your way to find on your favorite source for wrestling stuff here. Regal and Eaton do have interesting style comparisons. Regal hits the butterfly suplex after a couple of European uppercuts and manages to backhand his opponent pretty aggressively. Doesn't get all he wants with that. Then we see Randy Savage and his father talking about the elimination of Ric Flair and the disrespect of the Poffo family, a.k.a. Randy Savage's father and the like. Big Bubba Rogers out next and wanting things to go back his way, returning to the character he held when he was in Crockett Promotions at the time. Thus, Wonderkin Alex Wright, who is still a teenage prodigy, at the time draws Bubba here, and obviously that is a certain styles clash for sure. Power versus speed advantage. Das Wonderkin not exactly going to win any power matches with Bubba, to say the very least, but the speed advantage during the early stages of the matches as he manages around and actually does take a couple of shoulder tackles and other power moves that many would assume that he would not be able to undertake. And Bubba tries to get a cheap victory or two laying across his adversary without giving him much thought for the future there. Bubba spends the majority of the match kind of shaking off the fact that he cannot equally or easily vanquish his opponent. He tries to cheat using the abdominal stretch and the ropes in the middle. Bubba goes flying off the top rope, missing a splash along the way, and Alex Wright waiting for him with a crossbody, but Bubba catches him and throws him over the top rope into the floor. I believe the referee calls for the disqualification post that. And then we go into Sting making the save on Bubba and ultimately teasing the continuation of that feud. We will be back with more right after this.